Hello, everyone. Hello, lovely people who are all. But I'm Kirtideva Peruman. I live in New Zealand. I'm holistic life coach, and I had the great honor and pleasure to co-author a book with Katie Yev. I'm not going to say her full name; she will say it. And but I would like to take this moment to introduce her a bit about her, because we are launching our book called Inspired Creators on the 11th of November, which I believe it is our first book for both of us, so which is really exciting, and we can't wait for it. So Katie Yev is the founder of Totally Sunny Life, a yoga and meditation teacher, as well as an Akashic record healer, which I'm really curious about to know, and a Reiki level 2 practitioner just certified. So congrats to her. And her goal is to help everyone create their totally sunny life. To her, this means creating a life without limits, full of purpose, in deep connection with ourselves. I totally resonate with that. But I will leave the floor for Katie to do her introduction. And just a side note on that, I would like to honor her country because her country is going through a tough time where she comes from. So I always take that moment to send love and light to that, to Ukraine especially, to all the families out there. So please, people listening, take that one moment, maybe 1 second, just send love and light to Ukraine. And this is my support to my co-author and lovely Katie. So please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Deva. My name is Katie Yevmenova, and I am just so honored, thrilled, over the moon, just joy coming out from everywhere to be creating something together with Deva and with incredible authors in this book, and also the wonderful publisher Crystal that has a gift of collecting stories and sharing them and really shining the light. And as Deva said, my purpose is really just to increase the number of happy, healthy, thriving people in our community and around the world. And the gift to be trusted and to be of service is really important to me. I just value that so much. And using different tools that I'm learning, it really comes to that recognition of ourselves, our real true selves, and deconditioning the things that we picked up along the way or have been passed down to us through generations and DNA, and just knowing that there's always the next version of us, and it's an exciting journey. And it's the business is Totally Sunny Life. That's the name, but it doesn't mean that it's always, unicorns and rainbows, right? But it's always sunny. There's always light. And the gift is to have the tools, have the support to shine that light in the moments when you need it the most. And when you have joy, to shine it and spread it and have it just radiate out to others. So that's what I strive to do, and just so excited to be a part of this creation together.
Cool. Thank you so much for that. I would like, since our book is called Inspired Creators, I would like to know what inspired you to create Totally Sunny Life.
The inspiration really comes from and I share that in my chapter, I think, or if I don't, I talk about it a lot, being sometime in high school, so teenage years, and hearing, that quote that says, pick something you love to do and you don't work a day in your life. So I was kind of like, what do I love to do? And I just love helping people. And for a while, I didn't know what that was, right? So I was through my own journey, and not that it's at some peak or anything. It's like a continuous journey, but slowly finding things that helped me and nourished me and really nurtured me, and the awareness that came that's probably what the biggest gift I find from creating this is to help others find the awareness wherever it's needed, if it's in the
Mm.
mind, if it's in the spiritual space, if it's in physical space. When we have that awareness, that's really what I strive to um, inspire, create, help, and cultivate that awareness
Yeah.
of um, different, like just variety of awareness. But when we really pause, right, like when we become really present and that awareness comes, that's what this is created for. And it's been in creation for a few years now, but I see it evolving. So it's the purpose is awareness, but how it's coming together is always changing, and I find that so interesting and fascinating, and just allowing
Yeah.
myself to be flexible and teachable and curious to
Yeah.
continue to be able to do that. So, you know what? I'm really excited to see what it will be in 5, 10, 15 years, where we're going to be. And what I'm
Mm.
realizing through this journey is that I used to think that I knew so much. Like, oh, wow, I am, this year's old. And, ooh,
Yeah.
I remember being 16 and thinking that, ooh, yeah, I feel it right now. And then, you're like, you go on, you're, ooh, what right now? So now I'm at the point in my life where I'm like, who am I kidding?
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
know like this much, and there's so
Yeah.
much more. So I want to do
Yeah.
that for others too. I want them to
Yeah.
be just excited about
Yeah.
learning themselves.
Yeah. That's brilliant. And I know, Katie, like you said about being 16, and for me, looking at you with your energy, it's like I would just say like you have 18 with some years of experience. Let's go with that, right? And just like aging like wine, like with wisdom
I
and
love it.
those positive vibes. And I will just go to the chapter because I feel that chapter's name. Can I give it away, or
Yes, go
should
ahead.
yeah? So
Yes,
your chapter name is actually Motherhood as a Path to Spiritual Awakening. I was like, that struck me. I was like, wait, what? And I had this moment, like, because it's so powerful. I find it so powerful because I feel that sometimes mothers are not valued for what they do and they are not recognized. And you putting that in perspective as a spiritual awakening, I find it more powerful. So tell me what inspired you, to write this chapter and to come up with this title.
yes. So it's a really it's such a beautiful experience writing the chapter. And when I connected with Crystal, I heard about this book happening, and I connected with her. And I'm not an I love Crystal recently shared that to be an author, you don't have to be a writer. So I'm not a writer. English is my second language. I've never been, like in the space where it's like, "Ooh, Katie, your writing is so," that I'm like, "Ooh, let me do this more." It's funny
Yeah,
because
yeah.
sciences is more of my thing. I get science. This is very, like to me, it's very straightforward. I can do equations all day long, but but
Yeah.
I, the inspired creator piece is what really I was like, oh yes, I know, I know this beautiful idea, this concept, this um, theme, and I was not planning to the motherhood piece is just a part of me. It's part of my
Yeah.
journey. It's part of my experience, and
Mm.
but as I was writing it, there was so much I wanted to share with a reader. So much great information that I've collected. So much words of wisdom passed down, and just uh, but it can't, like it kept coming to my personal experience, and like, well, where did it come to me from? And there was it's a very interesting experience when we like I realized that I'm really great at observing things. Like I just see things from a different lens, from a different perspective. And I was doing that with kids. I was observing them, and I was observing our relationships, and I was observing how they have changed. And I was also observing the sibling relationship. And, I've seen a lot of things with, that piece with emotional piece, right? Like the not being able to express it in kids and also in adults. And, there were so many times where I started pausing, and just this awareness would come and just be like, okay. And I was really, I find the motherhood is a big, wonderful vehicle to explore the ego. It is
Wow.
such a beautiful place to be like,
Wow.
wait, why am I doing this? Why am I saying this? Why is this important? And it's like, is it me or is it, oh, wait, hold on. Sometimes it's the societal things, right? Like, this is how motherhood looks like. And then, and then you apply it to yourself. And then also part of my journey is perfectionism, right? So it's like, oh, okay, this is what it should look like. Let me put all this pressure on me and strive for this perfect mother or perfect role that doesn't exist, that I created. And that was the coolest awareness, when you're like, wait, hold on, who said that? Oh my goodness, I just made all of that up. Like, this is crazy. Like, I'm like upholding myself to what is made up. Like, it was just the awareness that came. So it was just, slowly being like, okay, and I also had this I guess awareness, or just something that I realized, like that I am just, I'm almost like a facilitator. Yes, I'm their mom, but ultimately
A medium?
No, like I'm facilitating their experience. Like, I am not, their success is not my success. Like, so even like the words that we use, right? Like, sometimes it's like, when we praise our kids, or like we want to tell them something, like the conscious language is such a big part of like awareness for me, and just, the way we would speak, or what would I want them to gather from that. So sometimes, lately, the biggest thing for me has been like, the phrase like, I am proud of you. And I'm like, I don't know what that means to me. Like, what does it mean to be proud of someone? So, when my kids, that like have something that they want to share, my response is like, it's not pride, because I don't feel it, but that's just the common thing to say. It's not the pride that I feel, it's the excitement. So I will say, oh my goodness, I am so excited. Or I will reflect back, oh, look at this extra work that you put in. Or, like, I feel like that is such a more, to me, like nourishing and authentic way to be, that I'm like, oh, wow, I am, like, this is like, where is this coming from? This is a new way of being for me, and I feel that it came from the pause. It came from that, like, ooh, this doesn't resonate. Why not? Okay. So what does? Like, it's just this conscious, constant, like being really present and really true to yourself. And I've noticed that a lot of times in different things, where it's like, oh man, why don't I fit in? Like, why doesn't this fit in? Why can't I just like see things this way? And it happens at home too. And I think it's really important to, like, I'm like, why do I always have to like say like, actually, I don't think this is, like something that like, I don't stand behind that. And I feel like it's so important to show that at home, that we can have different opinions, and this is what's important to me, instead of that, oh yeah, okay, like just agreeing for the sake of agreeing, so I think that's all part of the spiritual awakening for me, like being like, oh wow, we are just so much more, and I just seeing kids as, their selves, not as my kids, or like just like seeing them for who they are right now. It's so exciting. It's just so exciting to see like, oh, they're into that, and supporting that in a way that is creates that fun and curiosity for them in whatever that might be, even if it's not something that like we are taught or believed to, like what's important. Like to me, this really like cohesive, flowy
Hmm.
relationship as a family unit is what's really, really important. So
Cool.
that's a big
You know,
part.
like I feel that we can go on and on. You know, like you mentioned so many points that I want to take over, but to point out, but there's one thing that I feel is a common theme right now that you have been saying about mom taking a pause, because I'm pretty sure like right now mom are listening because I work with women as well, and they say taking a pause. How do I do that? You know, like how can I take a pause? So and you're offering like another shifting that perspective of motherhood as a path to spiritual awakening. That's absolutely brilliant. So how can mom actually take a pause?
Yeah. So I think first for me, it's the mindset shift, right? It's just like bringing something into my consciousness that I'm not doing right now.
Mm.
So a lot of times, and I echo what you're saying. You tell mom, like take a pause, and they're like, when? I have kids, I have this, right? Like there's, and
I have the list. Oh,
yes, I have the list. I have laundry. I have cook. Like all of these things, and I like to. For me, what works really well with my mind, the brain actually, like is breaking it down. Like, but wait, can I take 2 seconds to breathe? I can. And then the 2 seconds, like, can I take 30? I could probably take 30. Am I scrolling on my phone for a minute? Maybe, right? I mean, it's just being honest
yeah.
with yourself. It's like when you catch yourself, and it's not about guilting yourself and shaming, be like, I can't believe I'm scrolling, and sometimes we can say, well, scrolling is my like decompressing thing. Like I just like mindful scrolling type of thing, right? Which is cool, but it's how we do it. Like, what's the intention behind it? Everything, energy works with intention. Like, what intention am I putting in if I'm mindfully scrolling? And sometimes, I'll stop myself and be like, okay, is this something that's giving me, whatever I'm looking for right now? If not, okay, let me take a 30-second breather and I'll go back right to scrolling. And maybe that 30-second turns into something. And so I feel another one that I hear a lot, and you probably do too. It's, the waking up earlier. And it's like, oh my
Oh
goodness,
yes.
are you
Can't do
kidding
that.
me? Right? Like, no, and I will tell you, like, so this is where the spiritual part comes in for me, where I heard somebody say, well, I just asked my angels to wake me up at like 5, in the morning. And I was like,
Wow.
that's an interesting, because the idea is like, I'm gonna be tired, I'm gonna be
That's
cranky. But
cool.
if you're like awake, right? So I gave it a try. It's phenomenal. Like it's just, so that
Yeah.
my biggest shift,
Mm.
through parenthood and through journey has been asking for help. And sometimes it's the help of our spirit guides, of the universe, of whatever, wherever you go for that support outside of, the people in our life. This is just so simple. And sometimes we forget. And I say this to my clients all the time. Have you asked for help? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay, super easy. We're going to do this right now. It takes 3 seconds, So that for me, what I've noticed, and my kids are a little older, so I don't remember like how often I got up earlier than them. But what I could do is, when we're reading, on where we're playing, I would take that breather. I would take that, or
Oh yeah.
or I would start going to yoga. Like that was one of the things that I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to yoga. Like, that's my time to do something, to be quiet, to, just be in my own space. So
To
so
be
that,
with you.
yeah, to be with you and to be like, to attempt to be quiet. And I remember the first time, I maybe not very first yoga class, but one of the first ones, and that final resting pose, the shavasana, right? And the instructor guiding us to just not have thoughts. And I thought that was not possible ever, ever. And I thought to myself, wow, that's an interesting concept, not to have thoughts. Wait, hold on, I'm thinking
Mm.
about the concept. I'm already having, like, it's always there, like it's always working. So,
Yeah. Yes.
the practice of
Can
having
resonate.
that
Mm.
reason, and I feel like that's the biggest kind of like advice or support or inspiration, is just to get started with very manageable, very enjoyable, very like not rigid at all things. And maybe it's closing your eyes, maybe it's putting some music, and just maybe that's what gives you a breather, or maybe actually breathing, like noticing your breath.
Yeah.
It's super easy. And one of the biggest things I'm going to say is um, somehow tying it in so that the kids are in it as well, so that we don't have to
That's brilliant.
always feel, that, oh, when they go to sleep, or when they, no, mommy's going to put
Yeah.
this music on for, and we're just going to be quiet, like we're just going to be,
Mm.
make a game out of it. Ooh, who could be
Yeah.
quiet the
Yeah.
longest, and then
Yeah.
somebody's going to break the silence, and just being okay with it and just giggling, being like,
Yeah.
oh, you're the one that broke it, or, but I feel like that's another. There's like getting creative and just finding that breather. I think is
Mm.
really important. I think a lot of moms do run their cup really, really on empty, and if we
Yeah.
can somehow keep it full, keep it somewhat full, it's going to
Mm.
be easier to avoid the burnout, the heavy feelings that come with just running ourselves on empty and not taking care of ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's so brilliant. Like I like the idea with the kids, like recently with one of my clients, that's what I did. I told them they can do the same with their kids, so they can practice it along with their kid with them. So like a simple mindfulness breathing technique, and just do it along and teach them it, because it become a teaching moment and a bonding moment as well, which is important. And at the same time, you're grounding yourself, like you're taking that breather. But I would like to go back to your chapter, just because you start with a quote. And can I do that? Can I read the quote?
Yeah.
Or should we leave them? Okay. So each moment you're walking the divinely created path perfectly meant for you. And that's by you. And I'm like, in this moment, some people who might be listening are going through like a dark moments, like they might be having some challenges, and you talk about that in your chapter as well. I know it's related to the motherhood as well, but I feel everyone can benefit from that, from what you said. But how can they, like this quote, like you're saying, like right now the challenge I'm going through is like divinely created, and some
Yeah.
people will say kitty. No, I don't agree with you, like right now. So how can we help them to shift, to shift in that moment?
Yeah. So I really want to first talk about that. If there is trauma, if there is situation where you're not safe, that quote does not apply. So this is not a quote to justify someone not treating you right, you not treating you right, or like any traumatic experiences. This is the quote where you part of you feels like, yeah, this sucks right now, but like, or why is this happening to me? But this is more of your own, like creating the storm within yourself versus
Mhm.
somebody bringing in the storm to you. So this quote is,
Cool.
when we're feeling the storm, part of us may be a little bit aware, where we're like, having this conversation with ourselves, like, okay, everything's fine. Like, why am I getting so worked up over that? Or like, why is
Mhm.
this not coming together, in the exact perfect way? So this divine path is not unicorns and rainbows all the time. There's going to be tests, challenges, growing opportunities. So we come into that, right? And we kind of, I feel like the surrender into the journey itself, that things are not working out the way we would like them to be. And once again, these are not, like you're in safety, you are safe, and maybe you feel uncomfortable with your financial situation. Maybe it's the relationship that just you wanted to maybe it's one-sided, you want it to look this way but just the other side doesn't want it this way, or anything else. So then the and you're like, why can't things just get easier for me, right? Like, why is this
Mhm.
not easy? So but then part of this is that when things are easy, the what's that quote? How does it say that calm sea does not make good sailors?
Oh yeah,
So
rough seas that make skilled
yeah,
sailors. Yeah.
yeah, sailors, right? So we are the sailor, right? And sometimes our seas are going to be calm and we're going to love it. And we're just going to be like, this is so good. And then a storm comes. But
Yeah.
I truly believe all the work that we do in mindfulness, awareness, trusting the divine for us
Mm.
moments, for those moments when you're like, why is this happening to me? And, it's this is not divine. Like divine path doesn't mean that it's all the guides come in
Rosy.
and just remove all the boulders for you.
Yeah.
Like it's not that. It's the boulders are there, and then you're gonna
Shaken.
figure out what that boulder is. And part like what I believe in, and I see that in my experience, is that until we learn that lesson, it's just gonna come and show up, and it's gonna show up, and we'll be like, why does this always happen to me? So until we figure out where we need to shift and where we need to expand and
Yeah.
learn, it's just that boulder's just gonna show up on our path, and you think, shouldn't I be past that? I think I worked through this lesson, but
Yeah.
just the release into this energy of trust that it is divinely created for us is what's going to help
Mm.
us
Mm.
persevere, help us get stronger, help us to find a way. So sometimes, once again, going back to that guidance, what do I need to learn? What am I not aware of? Like just being really open. And I think it was like Gabby Bernstein in her book, I think it's Super Attractor, one of her books, she said, she talks about asking for signs, right? And she
Yeah.
said,
Yeah. Like a
trust,
billboard.
yeah, trust the sign. Like you ask for a sign. It's like, okay, if I should, like this, send me, a flower, and flower comes. Like, I don't know, is that the flower? Like you start to kind of, no, like
You
trust it.
doubt.
Like, it's
Yeah.
gonna be
You doubt
really
it.
in the energy of
Mm.
trust. Okay, I trust that this is, what's needed here, and then don't let the mind talk you out of it. Like
Mm.
have that beautiful integration of your
Yeah.
core, your soul, and so yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of what that
Well,
quote for me. And it's like it could
that's
change, you could
beautiful.
apply it in different ways, but that's the
Mm.
essence, that trust that we are
Mm.
always taking care of. Another of Gabby's quotes is universe got your back. That's kind of that, right? Like
Yeah.
when you feel that, you could just respond, or you could just explore differently than when you feel like things are happening to you, and you are I want control, like that kind of the ego. Yeah, when the ego pops up and wants and tells us what we need to do.
That's brilliant. And I'm a huge fan of Gabby. Like that's what I talk in my chapter as well. So it's funny that you brought that up as well. And I know she said like the sign should be like on a billboard, like should appear like on a billboard. And don't like if you're looking for angel numbers, those triple ones, don't add up. Like some people they will add up and say, oh, this made that 555, or like they will start making. No, it should be clear and
Yeah,
loud as well. And also for the medium, like it could through Instagram or through Facebook messages, anything. Like you can also guide, be specific how you want it to be manifested as well, how the sign should be clear for you as well. Unfortunately, Katie, we are reaching towards the end. Already half hour half an hour gone, but where can the guys find you? Like, where can people find you, about your website, anything that you want to share, and why they should go and read your chapter if you want to add up
Sure.
to that?
Uh, so you can find me on my website, Totally Sunny Life. From there, I have all the links. I have my Instagram there, Facebook. I have a YouTube channel where I have recorded many meditations, and I have awesome Women That Dream series there. Lots of great information there on YouTube. So go to my website, Totally Sunny Life, and that's going to help you find all the other things. And as far as getting to read the book, I find, like we talked about, Gabby's book. I don't know if any other books came up, but that was part of mine. Like it still is, that reading, and just hearing other people's stories and views and experiences and perspectives is
Yeah.
what helps us, right? To have that moment like, oh, okay, let me
Yeah.
explore it. And it might be, reading the chapter, and it just might be like a little, maybe a seed gets planted. That's
Yeah.
that's that's
Yeah.
incredible, And so going into the book, like just knowing that there's so much value and wisdom, and it's just gonna grow you. It's gonna grow you. It's gonna grow your awareness, your consciousness, and from you doing that, as a reader, it's going to radiate into your immediate family, people that you talk to, people that you touch, that's going to just create the wave because you're open to receiving too. So this is
Yeah.
just a beautiful opportunity to be just wowed and enter another, like, what books do, right? They take us to another
Yeah.
place, just entering this other
Yeah.
place, which is so special.
Another world. Thank you so much, Katie. And guys, like anyone listening right now, the her chapter is not only for mothers; it's for everyone. Even me, not being a parent yet, I resonate with that because I could see my mom, or you could see your partner. You could understand your partner better as well, and how to support them the best they can. So thank you, Katie, for bringing this motherhood as into another light, showing it on a under another perspective. That's brilliant. I feel I can't wait for it to be out and for all people, no, like everyone right now. I had the opportunity to read it. I feel very honored and blessed to read it.
Oh my
So I can't wait for everyone to read it. So please, guys, go on her website, Totally Sunny Live, and she radiate this sunshine to us right now. I know it's night at her place, but she still bring that sun, like that sunny life to us. So thank you so much for your time. I can't wait to for you guys to go and grab the book, launching on the 11th of November, so it's not far away. Please go on the link that will be shared. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.